Is $1,000 per month in passive income realistic? Yes. But most will never touch it because they're using dead-end methods sold by liars. Here's the brutal truth. Building a portfolio that pays you $1,000 every month while you sleep takes real capital, real patience, and ignoring the scams. But here's what those fakes hide. It's simpler than you think. The math is straightforward. The strategies are proven, and thousands of ordinary people have already escaped the rat race. So I'm breaking down exactly how to build that portfolio step by step with real numbers, real yields, and a timeline that actually works. Let's be clear about what we're doing here. This isn't a get-rich-quick video. I'm not selling a course. I'm not telling you to buy my secret crypto picks. This is the boring truth about how regular people build real passive income. The kind that keeps showing up whether you're working or not. The goal is simple. $12,000 per year. That's $1,000 hitting your account every single month. For some of you, that's grocery money. For others, it's the difference between living paycheck to paycheck and having breathing room. For a lucky few, it's the start of full financial independence. So how do we get there? Let's break it down. Step 1. Understand the math. If your portfolio generates a 5% annual yield, you need approximately $240,000 invested to earn $1,000 per month. Here's the formula. $12,000, your annual goal, divided by 0.05, your yield, equals $240,000. That's it. That's the math. But here's where people get confused. That $240,000 isn't necessarily money you need to have today. And 5% isn't the only yield available. Depending on how much risk you're willing to take and what assets you choose, the required capital can range from roughly $135,000 all the way up to over $360,000. Let me give you a real example so you can understand it better. A conservative approach using diversified dividend ETFs might yield around 3.3%, requiring about $363,000 to hit $1,000 a month. A balanced portfolio mixing dividend stocks, REITs, and ETFs might average 4% to 5%, bringing you into that $240,000 to $300,000 range. A more aggressive approach, using high-yield individual stocks, could get you to $135,000 to $200,000 invested, but with significantly higher risk. The S&P 500, for context, has a dividend yield of about 1.2% right now. That's not going to get you there on dividends alone. But that's okay, because we're not just chasing yield, we're building a portfolio. And here's the part most YouTubers skip. Your yield matters, but your total return matters more. The S&P 500 has averaged about 10% annual returns over the long term. That means if you're reinvesting, your portfolio is growing even faster than the dividends suggest. Step 2. Consistency. Now let's talk about how you actually get to that $240,000 without winning the lottery or inheriting a fortune. This is where most people give up. They look at the number and think, I'll never get there. But let me show you what consistency actually looks like. If you invest $500 per month into a diversified portfolio earning a 7% average annual return, after 20 years you'll have approximately $260,000. That's above our target. If you can only do $300 per month, you'll reach around $156,000 in 20 years at 7%. Not enough yet. But add a few more years, or increase your contributions as your income grows, and you get there. Here's a more aggressive timeline. Invest $1,000 monthly at a 10% annual return, the historical average of the S&P 500, and you'll reach about $200,000 in 10 years. Add dividend reinvestment, and you're hitting that $240,000 target even faster. The key insight? Time is your multiplier. Someone who starts at 25 investing $300 a month will likely reach $1,000 monthly passive income by their mid-40s. Someone who starts at 35 needs to invest nearly double that monthly to catch up. The earlier you start, the cheaper your goal becomes. And here's the part that actually makes this exciting. As your portfolio grows, the income grows with it. At $100,000 invested at 5%, you're earning $416 a month. At $200,000, it's $833 a month. At $240,000, you've crossed the finish line. Every dollar you invest today is literally buying you future monthly income. Think of each $240 as buying you $1 of monthly passive income forever. Step 3. Diversification. Here's where we get into the actual portfolio. You don't put all your money in one place. That's how you lose everything. Instead, you build a diversified machine with multiple engines generating income. Let me give you a real-world example portfolio that could realistically yield 5% annually. Engine 1, Dividend ETFs. Start with a core holding like the Schwab U.S. Dividend Equity ETF, ticker SCHD. It yields about 3.5% and has a 10-year total return of over 12% annually. Compare that to the S&P 500 ETF VOO, which yields only 1.2%. SCHD gives you nearly triple the income while still providing solid growth. For 2026, analysts project mid-single-digit returns for the S&P 500, with dividend payouts remaining a key component of total returns. Engine 2, REITs. Real estate investment trusts are legally required to distribute at least 90% of their taxable income to shareholders. The average REIT dividend yield is over 4%, triple the average dividend stock. A standout example is Realty Income, ticker O, which pays monthly dividends at a current yield of about 5.3%. It has increased its dividend for 32 consecutive years and paid 668 consecutive monthly dividends. For context, a $10,000 investment in Realty Income at 5.3% yields about $530 per year, paid in roughly $44 monthly installments. Engine 3, High-Yield Individual Stocks. For investors willing to take more risk for higher yield, there are options like Enterprise Products Partners with a 6.5% yield, or Altria with a stunning 7% yield. These come with higher risk but can significantly reduce the capital needed to reach your goal. Engine 4, High-Yield Savings and Bonds. Not every dollar needs to be in stocks. As of March 2026, high-yield savings accounts are offering up to 5.00% APY, compared to the national average of just 0.39%. The Federal Reserve's benchmark rate is holding steady at 3.50% to 3.75% as of early 2026. This means you can earn meaningful interest on your cash reserves while keeping them completely safe and FDIC insured. Here's a sample allocation that could yield around 5%, 30% in dividend ETFs like SCHD, 20% in REITs like Realty Income, 20% in high-yield individual stocks, and 30% in bonds and high-yield savings. At this allocation, your required capital drops from $360,000 to roughly $240,000. Step 4. Reinvest everything. This is the most powerful step and the one most people mess up. When you first start building your portfolio, you don't take the income. You reinvest every single dividend payment. Here's why this matters so much. Let's say you invest $10,000 in a portfolio yielding 5%. That's $500 in first-year dividends. If you take that $500 as cash, you still have $10,000 working for you in year 2. But if you reinvest it to buy more shares, you now have $10,500 working for you. In year 2, 5% on $10,500 is $525. That extra $25 is money you didn't lift a finger to earn. It's compounding in action. Now stretch that over 10 years. A $10,000 investment at 5% yield with dividends reinvested grows to about $16,300, not including any share price appreciation. Add in 7% annual price growth, and you're looking at nearly $26,000. That's a 160% return. When you finally cross the $240,000 threshold, that's when you flip the switch. That's when you stop reinvesting and start collecting. And because you built the portfolio the right way, diversified, resilient, focused on quality, you can collect those dividends indefinitely without selling a single share. One tax note: in a standard brokerage account, qualified dividends are taxed at preferential rates of 0%, 15%, or 20%, which is significantly lower than ordinary income tax rates. Even better, dividends in a Roth IRA aren't taxed at all. So consider building this portfolio inside a Roth IRA if you qualify. That means every dollar of that $1,000 monthly income stays in your pocket. Now, here's the truth about passive income that nobody wants to tell you. It's not passive at the start. Building a $1,000 monthly portfolio takes years of consistent investing, smart diversification, and the discipline to reinvest instead of spend. But here's what happens on the other side. You wake up one day and realize the money is just showing up every month, whether you work or not, whether the market is up or down, because you built a machine that runs without you. $1,000 a month is a milestone, not a shortcut. The system matters more than the speed. Start where you are. Use what you have. Do what you can. And let time do what it does best. If you want more realistic strategies for building passive income, not the get-rich-quick nonsense, hit that like button and subscribe. I break down strategies that actually work with real numbers and real examples. Drop a comment. What's your $1,000 monthly goal target? How far along are you? And remember, the best time to start was 10 years ago. The second best time is today. Thanks for watching.